Candace Owens. I just watched a little short of yours. I'm a Christian. I have a little bit of Jew in me if you want to go by heredity. Like, watch out. I just watched with the history and you're like, I read too much about Israel to blah, blah, blah. Israel as a country and a military, the IDF, is really great. And just like Delta Force, they're really great. And SEAL team. The only good CIA I can speak for is the ones that are stealth bombing and etc. You know, reaper droning, whatever. Mexico and Venezuela. But real quick, watch out. Just right. You got to the point at the end, then you turned on and said they're Satanists and da 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 da. It's not that the whole country of Israel how the New World Order, Satanic Cabal, or whatever, the Satanists, the actual problem that infiltrated every country with shit like the UN or, you know, say they got into something, said, oh, we all got into NATO, we took control of NATO, boom, now let's do this. Oh, we took control, we made the UN, we took control of the UN, now let's do this. Oh, now we made an umbrella under the UN with the WHO and the CDC. Now we got into the IRS, now we got into the US government, now we got into the US churches, now we got into, you know, when I got into, you know, Germany, England, blah, 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 every single fucking place, every place. They fuck over every country they can. They're the enemy of mankind. If you're really a fucking human, it's an international world. They deal with slavery. They do business and slavery on the same lines. If you have a good line and a good business, they'll try to send infiltrators into your company and say, let's take over your trucking logistics, and you won't know. I'm still gonna send some drugs that way because I'm in a fucking, I'm double dipping in a fucking side hustle or a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hustle. I don't know. Like, just remember, we can't ever say, like, it's not just Israel. It's not, Israel's an ally. They hate Israel. The ones that hate us, if they've infiltrated Israel and they're partially in Israel, they're the same ones that hate us. They're gonna get popped in Israel. They hate us and they hate Israel. They always hate the US and they always hate Israel together. Now, unless Israel becomes evil again, like it did that time in the Bible, and then God put them into bondage under the Moabites for a little while until they learned these lessons and they said, oh fuck, like, we're not gonna do that again, right? God teaches the big lessons, 3 or 4 generation judgments and stuff. But I just wanted to say also, I saw you earlier wearing this jacket. Maybe it was yesterday, maybe it was today on a video, and it's kind of, or it's similar to my jacket. Very, very strangely similar. I bought this at a thrift store last week, and then I watched a short of yours earlier today, and I said, Candace Owens is wearing like practically the same jacket. It had the same exact colors, it just had a little bit of wider bands. I said, we're wearing like the same jacket. You know, my car got stolen illegally in Philly, and the cops and the scumbags transferred it to themselves down the line. I found out 6 months later, and they didn't tell me they found it, even though I reported it and they had my info. One of the things that got stolen was a yellow, you know, Pelosi was wearing that yellow jacket in pictures. Well, the first time she started wearing it, my car had just gotten stolen the week before. I think she was behind it, and they got my jacket, and she took it as like a little, you know, and was wearing it in public so I'd see it. But you didn't steal my jacket, Candace. But yeah, they're Satanists. They are. They're the synagogue of Satan. Jesus says in the Revelation of Jesus Christ by John the Divine, I know the affliction against you and those who slander you, who call themselves Jews but are not Jews. They are of the synagogue of Satan. They are fake Jews of the synagogue of Satan. He says fake Jews of the synagogue of Satan. They are the synagogue of Satan. They are fake Jews. He also says in other parts of the Bible, they like to sit in the best seats of the synagogue. They do everything to be seen and heard. When they do their worship, they do it out in public on the corners, and they like to make a show. They do everything to be seen and heard. So they're big in entertainment. They're big in big showy things. Some of them are like little sneaky shadow snake people too that are like in the background, but that's like, it's probably still them. Anyway, don't worry. Jesus is destroying them all. He said about Satan, he said, he's not obeying me again, so I'm going to destroy every single one of them.